All right, we're live. Perfect. Okay, so this one was not too bad because we just had to like look at pictures and stuff.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and so we can just start right away and start in the first question, and so we can all get back to doing what we need to. But so when you guys are looking, like when we looked at the pictures, what sort of inferences can you draw about the society?
It's a lot more modest.
Yeah.
A lot of the tops were completely covered, or just the shoulders, but not really cleavage. Except for like one picture, I think there was cleavage.
Yeah.
The waist was really thin.
Yeah,
And
way
it was,
tiny.
yeah, and there was like a photo of like the organs, which I thought was really
Yeah.
interesting. And I
That
remember
was scary.
I remember someone telling me that like a lot of girls they passed away early because of their waist being so cinched up.
Yeah, I think I've heard that too.
Yeah, I even read something about like even people having like birth defects and stuff because it
Oh,
Yeah.
just
wow.
scary stuff.
Yeah, it is scary.
Beauty is pain. No, I'm just kidding.
Fact. That's probably where this definition came from, though.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm just like writing it down everything we're saying, but
Yeah.
um yeah, like I kind of noticed what okay, so on the last like little slide like of all the pictures of the fashion, I kind of remember like it was all pretty like straight. But this one, society, like it seems like society's really enunciating like the womanly curve,
Like the
Yeah.
like that
hourglass
really
figure.
tiny, yeah, like
Yeah,
Yeah.
and the shoulders too.
hourglass, yeah. And so,
Definitely.
yeah, so it's like shoulder and then tiny and then like their hips, like with the big bell skirt, you know?
Uh-huh.
And
Do
so
you
it's
guys
like,
remember that one photo? I think it was like an actual photo of like someone's back.
Oh,
And
yeah. And it was, yeah.
so
Oh,
small.
unreal.
Like,
Yeah, that was
yeah, it
unreal.
was tiny.
it was like, oh no, she
Yeah.
breathing.
That's not healthy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
And some of them had like the big, like ruffly butt part,
Huge
which I thought
butts.
was really funny. I love that. I kind of wanted to wear one of those.
You just want to try it on.
Not the waist, just the butt.
That reminds me of Jane in Tarzan.
Oh,
She had
yeah,
that
you're
same
right.
dress.
Yeah.
It's bouncing.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So, okay, yeah, just kind of like how modestly, but like really enunciating like the different genders. Cool. Second question. What sort of meaning can we attach to the changes in women's sense of what shape their body should have, or the fact that the hairstyles were simplified?
Were they simplified? I thought they were even more detailed
I actually
than
didn't
before.
really notice the hair. I was looking at the waists.
Yeah, definitely. Like I feel like they focus more on the accessorizing of their bodies instead of like because a lot
Yeah.
of the hairstyles are just like up and curled, basically.
Yeah.
True. I don't know. I feel like that would take a lot more work than the half up, half down dealio they had.
Oh yeah, totally.
So that's just me. So,
Yeah. So maybe like it changed the sense where they thought that like to be beautiful you had to have a really tiny waist to even be looked at by a man, you know what I mean?
mhm.
Like
Yeah, I think we
Yeah.
started to see that earlier, but it just really became very extravagated. Is that extravagant? I don't know what word I'm thinking
yeah,
of.
I know. I exaggerated. That's it. I was like, there's a word. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think like sorry, my voice is so ugly. It talked about, she wrote that like they were getting like circulated like ads or whatever, I can't remember what it was, like communication about fashion. And
Yeah.
so like it was easier for women to see what other women thought was beautiful, and like probably more had more of an influence on how many wanted to be in style and things like that.
Mhm.
Yeah. Wow, I like that a lot. I'm like, keep talking. Yeah, like the magazine and like I was kind of reading up that around this time like sewing machines were being introduced and like different
Oh, okay.
synthetic dyes as well. And so just the fashion being able, it just like boomed, like all the different options
Yeah.
that you could have. And so that definitely
Probably
like
easier to make too. All these
Yeah.
crazy ruffles and stuff save a lot of
Yeah.
time. Machine-
like cheaper and yeah, easier. Totally. Cool. All right. Anything else you want to say about that?
So I actually did some research on the Victorian era, and I think there's a question that's going to come up about like men versus women. And
Yeah,
it's
totally.
kind of like during the Victorian era, men, they commuted more to work. That's probably why like their clothes became more simplified.
Mm,
While like the
that's
wives
interesting.
and the women, they stayed home more, which is probably why they had so much time to focus on like outer beauty,
Mm,
because before they would work more, but now they're more focused on staying home. That's what I read.
yeah, that's really interesting.
Totally. Just like stay home and look pretty kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Women's stay home. Okay, cool. Cool. All right. Next one. What does this have to do with the way women were thought of or thought about themselves? So it's kind of, I feel like it's kind of going off of that thing like you were saying, Chantel, like with the magazine, like being like the printing press and the like all the
Mm.
magazines being like, it seems like, okay, well, I have to get this new pink dress because there's pink now, but I have to get this new corset because it's not small enough. You know what I mean? So I feel
Yeah.
like they were making like a list, just like how Burke was like, you have to have a list, like you have to be small, you have to be like smooth, you know? So like
Yeah.
just adding on to the like the checklist
So you
of
can
what
say
even being
like
qualified.
with like advancements in technology, there became more apparent standards for beauty.
Hmm.
I like that. Man, I wish I could write faster. Sorry. I'm
You're
like,
fine.
all right, I really like that a lot. That was really good. Yeah. So just like, yeah, I kind of feel like it kind of relates to like today, just how we have all these posters, but we even have
Mhm.
Photoshop, so it's even like can't even
Yeah.
get it. Even with the tightest corset, I feel like I can never get it. But okay, cool. Okay, so yeah. What is the significance of the tight-waisted corset or the bustle?
I feel like we kind of already touched on this, but um, I don't know. I think it's just like that was seen as beautiful, and women wanted to be beautiful, and everyone wants to be beautiful, and so like accentuating the woman's body was beautiful at the time, and making their waist super small so that their hips looked bigger and their boobs looked bigger. Like I feel like that was a big part of it.
But isn't that like what's happening right now? I feel like
Oh
it's
yeah,
back
definitely.
in a cycle. Yeah.
Nicki Minaj and
Because even like
Oh
maybe
gosh.
10 years ago, like just being thin, like a supermodel was really famous, but now it's like more of like curvy.
Yeah. I think
You
you're
know,
right.
yeah,
Definitely.
I was thinking that too, that this is kind of the start of not just thin, but like curvy as well. Because everybody wanted to be skinny, but over the years, you kind of still see the theme of to be womanly, you have to have big boobs and a decent sized hips for giving birth,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
So like, that person wants small hips or small boobs.
Yeah.
So small hips was kind of exaggerated, and it led into what we see now in our society.
Yeah.
To today's society. Cool. Awesome. This is awesome. All right. Why did men become even simpler in their dress? So I think this is the question that you were saying about like men were like more, they were working more and women were more like staying at home.
Yeah.
So men working.
Also, this wasn't like directly relate, but something I noticed in the pictures is that the men, like, I don't know, they looked like their clothes made them look kind of big and like boxy, and like the women, theirs were so like, here's my waist, here are my hips. Like, it was interesting that the men's clothes didn't show any shape in them at all, and it's still kind of like that. Like, men usually wear more loose clothes. But I thought that was interesting.
I like that. Like, and even if it is any shape, it seems as though it was like, actually, no, not at all. Yeah, there's like barely any shape. I was thinking, yeah, it's very like, yep.
But I think another thing with the guys too is they tried really hard to be taller with their tall hats, and they're like, if you notice,
Yeah.
all their shoes have like a heel to them, so they tried hard to be
Alright,
like
yeah.
tall.
So interesting.
I like that a lot. Awesome. I didn't even think of that. That's good. All right. Why is there so much less variation for men than for women? So I guess we kind of just like went off of that, just like, again, they were just working and
Yeah.
they just like wanted to be tall. Or what do you guys think?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like more up here, more
No, I think.
masculine, more manly.
And I feel like the women were more expected to have like detailed clothes. Like a lot of them had like ruffly or like patterns or something. So like it just seemed
Yeah,
like
like
they
the
had,
lace.
yeah, like the lace, yeah, like they were more expected to have those kinds of things on their clothes.
Like, because they're still, it's kind of like they're still known as like just to be looked at.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's essentially what it is because guys, at least they can offer like skills and like money and they can kind of sustain the family while the female is just there to look pretty. And she
Mm,
doesn't, she's not the money maker of the house or anything
yeah.
at that era.
Do you think
Yeah, I think
also?
also.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Good.
Oh, I was gonna just say that for like husbands, it means a lot to provide for their families, like you were saying, and it's kind of seen, if your husband is hardworking, you should be able to have nicer dresses, right?
Mm,
So the guys would want to be buying their women nice clothes,
Yeah.
that's
or
true.
daughters, so that they could be seen as a higher class or a better, wealthier family.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Like I was literally just about to say that. And like, and also just like he could use the money instead of buying something like that he could wreck from like working and stuff, like making it tear like so easily because he's moving around a lot. Like spend his money to kind of show off his wife. You know what I mean? Like look at what
Yeah.
I can buy her. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
totally.
It's still like objectifying the wife, though,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
which is very sad.
Yeah. All right. Cool. How do these things relate to such issues as relationships between men and women, or the fact that the middle class had become clearly the class of power in England? So I think we kind of just touched on it and just being like objectifying women, like the relationship between men and women, like men have their roles, women have their roles, like men is to work, women is to be looked at and look beautiful. You know what I mean?
What was the second part of the question? The middle class.
Oh, it was saying, or the fact that the middle class had become clearly the class of power in England.
That makes sense because, like, with advancement in technology, and since they can produce more, like the middle class, they can get more like clothing and supplies. It's more easily accessible for them. Yeah, and they can afford more luxurious items.
And they have more of a choice in what they want to wear. And yeah, that makes sense.
Awesome. So I'm just like writing it down.
No, you're fine. Take
you guys
your
are
time.
so smart. It's cool. You guys are anyway, yeah. Totally. Cause like with even though I'm just repeating what you said already, so I'll just stop. But like it's funny because just like with the like magazines and everything, like everyone, it's kind of relating it to the gospel or like scripture, even part of history, just like how the printing press like allowed like scriptures everywhere, and so everyone had access to it, and so like and everyone was like coming up with their own ideas and own religion. So it's kind of the same, like these magazines were coming out and people were like, well, I could add this and I could wear this, and so
yeah, that's interesting. I like that.
Cool. Okay, and then there's some little more questions right at the end, and then we're almost done. Okay. So it's saying to give evidence referring to the details from the last 3 photos of the slideshow. And so the last 3 photos of the slideshow are the men.
It says, wait, it says at least 3.
Oh. Oh, thank you. I was like, it's just the guys. Cool. Okay, so do you think I should like focus on like showing the one man where it's just like very simple, and then the one lady who shows her tight
lace? Yeah.
And then as well as like one that has a good rump and like hourglass figure.
Yes, that's cool. That's a good choices.
Okay. Men simple. So it's saying about making a statement about how Regency fashion says something about the culture. Oh, do you think that's supposed to say Victorian fashion? Do you guys have the assignment up?
Yeah.
Let's see.
Where? Oh, yeah. I'm sure it's supposed to say Victorian, or maybe you're supposed to compare.
Maybe
I think it's supposed to be Victorian because she asked that same question earlier on.
Oh, okay.
Okay. I was like, wait, did we just do that? Okay, cool. So just like, do you think what I'm kind of leaning on towards is that like culture is still like very, okay, this is going to be very rough, but like talking about like how there's still like that sexist kind of mindset where like women are this, men are that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so that's like their culture, and so their fashion really expresses it.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Just want to make sure you guys were cool with that one.
I mean, I think at the same time this society is starting, like women were traveling a lot more on their own at this time. So I think their dress lets them go places, not like it's not super
Not as
restrictive.
restrictive.
But the corset, if they needed to wear their corset, you have to have another woman with you to do it up. You can't do it up
Oh,
yourself.
yeah.
So even though it is more open for women to travel, it's almost like that corset is holding them back.
Oh.
So,
Is that why most of the photos were like 2 women?
I think
Like-
so.
Because they
Okay.
have to help each other put them on.
Have you seen? I can't remember if it was like a cartoon or what I was watching, but like they put like their foot and like
Oh
pull
my
it
gosh.
just to get it super tight.
Oh, I could never.
Okay, cool.
Wow.
Well, I think that's all. Thanks again, guys, for doing it tonight.
Yeah, of course. I'm glad we could get it done a little early.
Yeah, it's awesome. Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, everyone, have a good night.
All right.
Thanks
Yeah, you guys
again.
too.
Bye.
Bye.